Okay, so this is Melissa, who's just come back for her assessment day, and she's also doing some extra lip training. So, Melissa, you trained about a year or so ago now, originally, didn't you?
Yeah, a bit over that, yeah.
Just over that. And you had your own home-based salon, was that correct?
I did, yes, doing nails and brows and lashes,
yeah,
etc.
And obviously, like most people, it's been a bit of a crazy year.
Yeah. COVID, pandemic, divorce, house move.
You name it, you've been there.
Yeah.
So it's quite amazing that you've actually been able to get on and actually set your business up and start doing quite well at it as well.
Yeah, it's been steady, and I feel like now I'm really kind of at the point now where I'm ready to move to the next level.
Yeah.
And really push things forward. More clients.
Yes.
More strategic advertising and marketing.
Yeah. Well, I suppose with the house move and other things going on in your life and having to reset up in a different area and different and all that sort of stuff as well, it's obviously going to have been a bit harder than some people that could just get on with it and have their little place.
It's been an extraordinarily busy year. 4 children as well.
Four children,
look after and settle, GCSEs and all sorts of things. So yeah. It has been crazy.
But it does go to show, though, even with so much going on, it's possible, isn't it?
Yeah, and now I'm so pleased I didn't just put it to one side completely, because now things are calmer.
Yeah.
I'm in a much better position to move to the next stage than if I'd just pressed pause completely and nothing. So.
And actually saying that, so obviously, how is it sort of fitted in permanent makeup with your sort of lifestyle when you've obviously had chance, once you've settled down a little bit?
Yeah.
How have you found it fitting in? Because you've obviously decided to get rid of some of the lower end treatments, and you've actually completely stopped doing nails and things, haven't you?
Don't do nails anymore, don't do lashes or anything else other than the permanent makeup. In terms of my own business, I'm a primary school teacher, but I also just work in the morning, so what I tend to do is do my morning in school, have a bit of lunch, head to the salon, and then I've got my afternoon, and I will generally try and work appointments so that I can still pick my kids up from school, drop them off, and then maybe do something in the evening, or maybe not, because I still have a full afternoon. So and then sometimes at weekends, depending on demand. Yeah,
I suppose you can be as quiet or as busy as you want, really.
Yeah.
And on that note, and obviously you're sort of a year in now, and you're doing really well in the way that the way you've built it up. You're charging a decent. I mean, what's your sort of average price per treatment? You were just chatting to Kate earlier about it, weren't you?
Probably around about $350.
About $350 a treatment, yeah. So that's a really good, within 12 months, that's a pretty reasonable sort of goal to have, I think. Aiming around £300 to £400 a treatment.
I want more of them.
Exactly. Well, actually, on that note, I know it was a very long day, but Kate said, how many clients did you do in one day once?
I did have a day of 6.
6 clients.
I wouldn't do it again, and I wouldn't recommend it. And now I say the limit is 3.
Okay.
Because of the physically, you're just so tense, and the level of concentration required.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was intense.
Maybe on a day when you're not doing primary school teaching in the morning as well.
And I've already got people booked in, from next week onwards for lip treatments, so I'm looking forward to.
That's fantastic.
So
I suppose that's the other thing is, although you've been concentrating on brows and eyeliner for the last year or so, it's given you the ability to create a waiting list effectively.
Yeah. And I think it will be popular because certainly in my area, whilst you've got quite a few people offering microblading, not many offering eyeliner, hardly any at all offering lips. So I think it's certainly in the area where I am in Derbyshire, there's definitely quite a gap in the market for that.
Wow, brilliant. And how have you found, obviously, being able to access Katy whenever you need to over the last year or so? Because obviously everybody gets a number that trains with her and everything. Have you found it useful when you're...
Amazing, yeah, so useful. And I always feel a little bit like, I don't want to bother because I know how busy she is, but whenever I do, she's straight back to me. And I can remember one of the first treatments I did, I was panic-stricken that I'd made a mess of this poor lady's eyebrows, but actually Katy taught me down and it was fine, and the lady wasn't, she was really pleased, and just now Kate said, in your portfolio, where was that lady you sent me? And I was she's there, she looks amazing. Yeah, it's just nerves in the
natural,
early
isn't
stages. Yeah.
Wow, brilliant, great. Well, obviously you've had a very busy year, and now it's time to maybe start a new year with another new start. And,
renewed focus and more strategic, I think, and have a good game plan of where
that's it, a marketing plan, and we are also working with you on the business side as well, so you've got access to that side of things and some extra help as well. So I suppose that's maybe, the last year's been about setting up, doing the treatents as best you can, and now Yeah, he survived. And then it's basically, I suppose, the next year is the next step, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's putting the marketing things into place and having that and pushing forward with a whole new direction.
Yeah, I've got the salon where I'm based, where I sort of pay rent every time I use the room. And then I have got another salon on board that I work with on a commission basis. So I'm looking to increase the number of salons that I have on board. I think that's an obvious next step.
Yeah, and I suppose in a year in,
really well.
yeah, and a year in, I suppose that's one of the things we teach on the business course as well, is how we sort of built Kate's business up originally, was working through salons and joint ventures and things. So you can see how that works, and like I say, now you've got that experience behind you.
Yeah,
it's one of the next steps to sort of think about, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'm looking to move house again in a year or so. So when I do buy my next house, I'm thinking about, is there space for a lodge or something in the within the garden or something? That I could perhaps,
or a garage.
We've got a really good client base. That would be the next step after that. So I've got lots of different sorts of ideas for as time goes on.
And I suppose if you commit to a few of those long days again doing permanent makeup, then maybe you have a bigger deposit as well, which will help.
Exactly, and it's motivation, isn't it, to keep working hard and not take my foot off the pedal. Indeed. Well, it's been great seeing you here, and we'll be looking for and I'm sure you'll have an even more positive new year and 2022, and we'll look forward to seeing how you progress. And I think one of the next stages as well, you're going to start thinking about the entering awards and things like that as well. Yeah. And in terms of training, I definitely hope to come back and do some more advanced skills. The paramedical side of things really interests me. So that again, maybe next year is something to look at. Always great to have these goals, isn't it, in direction. If you aim for nothing, you hit it with surprising accuracy every time. So if you know where you're going, then we can help you get there. If you don't know where you're going, then you're going to struggle to get there, aren't you? Indeed. Brilliant. Well, it's been great to have you here again, Melissa, and we'll look forward to seeing you very soon, I'm sure. Cheers. Take care.